And that is one of the issues that I have with the question itself, is that this is a remixed question, something that we have heard, many times, but they just... Hello everyone, welcome once again to my channel. It's your boy Luis Portelles, and for today's video we have a very special one because we are going to be analyzing the Q&A segment of Miss Iloilo 2022. Of course, for pageant fans, you know that within the Philippines, Miss Iloilo is one of the most important regional pageants, and over the years they have delivered a lot of quality queens. But most recently we can think of the likes of Kesha, who made it to Miss Universe Philippines 2021. We can think of Karen Lori, Binibining Pilipinas 2021, Rabia Mateo, Miss Universe Philippines 2020. I mean, so much quality. And that is precisely the reason why I wanted to take a moment to sit down and analyze the Q&A segment of the entire show. If you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, you know that this is my favorite part of the show because this is when you really get to see who not only has the physical beauty but also the brains. And honestly, I think that the Q&A is really a deciding factor on whether someone gets crowned or not. So I'm excited to see how all of these ladies did for this particular segment. As usual, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like so that it gets recommended to more people. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one almost every single day. And last but not least, let me know in the comment section what did you think about the questions, the answers, my feedback, and anything else that you would like to talk about. Alright my friends, so without further ado, let's get into today's video. I really hope that you enjoy it.
Be strong.
This is now the final interview. We have briefed the candidates that all our questions will be related to the pandemic.
Okay.
You will get to pick your question number.
Very relevant,
from
very
the
timely.
poll before stepping on stage. We will begin with candidate number 1.
Number 1.
Candidate number 1 is Erica Panes Doranilla from Sara, Iloilo.
Let's see what you got, Erica. What do you bring to the table?
Hello, Alan.
Okay, can we get your question number?
Question number 5.
Okay, Erica. Your question goes this way. If you win the Miss Iloilo Universe crown and make it to Miss Universe International, what will you tell the world about the Philippines and its fight against the coronavirus? Again, if you win the Miss Iloilo Universe crown,
that's a tricky question,
and make
though.
it to the Miss Universe International, what will you tell the world about the Philippines and its fight against the coronavirus?
I will tell the world that I am proud of being a Filipino because of our bayanihan spirit. I know we've been through a lot during these past 2 years, but I believe that if we put our hands all together, if we will help the community to become better and to have a safe place to live with, we can overcome this pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is your candidate number 1, Erica Panes Doronilla from Sara, Iloilo.
Okay, let's talk about her for a moment. I do think that her answer was okay, just fine. It wasn't anything, exceptional or incredibly elaborate. But one of the things that I would have loved to hear is that, the Philippines is realistically one of the countries that has been hit the hardest by the pandemic. The numbers and the number of cases and deaths, unfortunately, has really skyrocketed in the past few months. And on top of that, while also dealing with the pandemic, the Philippines has also been hit with natural catastrophes. So I feel like there was an opportunity for her to really talk about the resilience and the spirit of, overcoming adversities and really just keep going even when everything seems to be wrong. And then take that to put it into an international context, as a message of hope and being an example for other countries who might be going through a similar situation with the pandemic. Of course, everyone deals with this, differently, but I feel like using that as an example for the international community, it would have been an amazing way to address the question. Now, did she do a bad job? Not really. It was okay, but it was a little simple.
Alright, and now let's welcome candidate number 2, Angela Bulenses. Angela hails from Tigbawan, Iloilo.
Angela is beautiful. Makes me think of Cinderella Obeñera a little bit.
Hello, Angela. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Hi, can we have your question number, please?
Exciting. Oh, she's struggling.
Question number 10.
All right, Angela, here's your question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think beauty pageants are still necessary during the times of lockdown, alert levels, and changing health and safety protocols, and why?
I expect an
repeat.
elaborate
Do
answer
you
from
think
her.
beauty pageants are still necessary during the times of lockdown, alert levels, and changing health and safety protocols, and why?
Of course.
For me, sir, beauty pageants is still necessary today. Even it is COVID or even there is pandemic, we still need to pursue it because it's our passion. It's being an Ilonggo. Being an Ilonggo is a resilient beauty, and I think that being beautiful with a heart will make you a better person, and it will change the world. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Candidate number 2, Angela Bolenses.
Angela, girl, let's talk for a second. Thank you for trying, Angela. Honestly, that was, I could tell that you were giving it your best shot, but girl, you missed the shot. The problem with the answer is that it felt, a little bit too forced, and also it was like pageant patty, like change the world and this and that and pageants and that. I mean, it's all true, but at the same time, it's something that has been said and said and said again over and over again. And that is one of the issues that I have with the question itself, is that this is a remixed question, something that we have heard, many times, but they just took the same question and they just added pandemic to the end of it. But overall, when it comes to the answer, I really feel like what she should have focused on is the fact that pageants are such a big part of the culture in the Philippines, and during hard times, during difficult times, challenges, and whatever is going on in the country, art is always a way for people to express themselves. But also, art, you can find comfort in art, you can find a voice in art, you can find a way to really just put out your state of mind, your, how you're feeling inside, and just express that with the rest of the world, or the universe rather. But I think that overall, what I really was expecting to hear in this particular answer was the fact that pageants are a way to bring hope to people, even if there's lockdown, even if there are restrictions, because it's such an important part of the culture. It doesn't really matter how she words the answer. Those were just kind of like the key elements that I was expecting to hear from her. They were not there, unfortunately, though.
And now may we request candidate number 3, Ellie Rose Lim Elola.
Okay.
Ellie hails from Pavia, Iloilo.
Maganda. So beautiful. She looks tiny
Hello,
compared to the
Ellie.
others.
Hello, Alan. Good evening, Bob and Alan. You both look great tonight.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
beautiful
Oh,
tonight.
thank you.
Uh-oh.
Look at that. Thank you.
I love her confidence. She was there and she was like, if I'm not going home with a crown, I'm going home with a boyfriend. That's for sure. Ooh, I think I'm gonna like her. I hope she doesn't disappoint with the answer though.
Okay. So without further ado, Ellie, can we have your question number?
Okay, just wait a second.
It's
The
okay.
sass.
So it's question number 7.
So number 7, your question is, Ellie, apart from the pandemic
Mhm.
that has scarred a lot of people, what is another scary thing in this time of pandemic? Again, apart from the pandemic that has scarred a lot of people, what is another scary thing in this time of pandemic?
I think another scary thing aside from the pandemic is losing someone we love. I lost my mother in the middle of the pandemic, and yesterday was her first death anniversary. The pain I am experiencing upon losing my mom is incomparable and unexplainable. The pain will always be here. It's just that I'm learning how to live with it every day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, candidate number 3. That is Ellie
Thank you.
from Pavia, Iloilo.
Lord Jesus, I was not expecting her to be this, raw and out there when it comes to her answer. But, I mean, what can I say? Well, I feel like she was so honest that it really had an aspect of, shock value, impact. I was not expecting her to be, out there and be like, I lost my mom during the pandemic and it's so incredibly hard and now I have to learn to live with it. But at the same time, it's something that a lot of people can relate to, you know, whether you have a family member that passed away because of the pandemic or just during the time of the pandemic. It has been very challenging for pretty much everyone. So I do think that her answer was appropriate for the question. I was thinking, as I was hearing the question, I was thinking of maybe other things such as, you know, being alone, not being able to see people, not being able to, you know, do activities and like mental health and those type of things. But she came out with something that I was really not expecting at all. The only critique that I would have for her is that, you know, she was giving a very emotional, heavy answer, but I don't feel like that really translated through her body language or her facial expressions, to the point that even at the end of the answer, if you look back, you will see that she's talking about death and like dealing with it and like super hard, and then she's like, thank you, and back to smiling like so quick. And it's like the emotions are like super like heavy, but then the facial expressions that come with it were not like on the same level. So that will be my only feedback, but overall, very good, very solid. That's all I have to say. And I like her attitude. I mean, she was definitely funny. You guys look gorgeous.
And now let's call on candidate number 4, Blessy Villablanca. Blessy is from La Paz, Iloilo City.
Come on, Blessy. Bless me with a good answer,
Hi,
please.
Blessy. Good evening.
Good evening.
May we have your question number, please?
Okay. I got number 3.
All right. So,
right.
Blessy, here's your question.
Hmm?
Who is your hero in this time of the pandemic and why? I repeat, who is your hero in this time of the pandemic and why?
My hero in this time of the pandemic are the frontliners and the volunteers who, despite the risk, they provide protection for people most in need. Nothing is more important than our own lives, but they even risk theirs for us, and with that, I will always honor them. I have nothing but love and respect to our dear frontliners. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Blessy Villablanca.
Okay.
From La Paz.
Okay, let's talk about her answer. Execution, you know, like how fluent she was, choice of words, everything was great. I have nothing wrong to say or criticize when it comes to that. Now, I do have a little problem with the overall message of the answer, because I feel like it's been said and done so many times already that there's really no surprise, nothing new added to the answer, you know. And of course, saying that frontline workers, you know, health workers and people risking their lives for, you know, the sake of everyone else during the pandemic, it's an excellent way to describe, you know, heroes and talk about them. So I feel like it was the right choice for her answer, but the way that she presented it and the way that she defended it, most importantly, I feel like that's where I have an issue with. I almost feel like sometimes it's better to take a risk and go with something that is not as obvious than going with a very, you know, expected answer that everyone is just gonna be like, oh, of course you have to go with that. For example, talk about single mothers who have to work, but then they also have to have the kids at home during the pandemic, and, you know, finding a balance to, you know, send them to online school, but then also provide for the household. I don't know, talk about people who have a disease that for some reason they cannot risk to go outside. Talk about people who are facing the pandemic while also facing, you know, the consequences of a natural catastrophe. I mean, there are so many different things that you could really say that will be outside of the box and wouldn't be the typical answer that everyone expects. Once again, nothing wrong with her answer. I just personally wish that it was whether a different answer or that she had defended it with a different angle.
As Iloilo City.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, may we call in candidate number 5, Jessa Jen Garbino, all the way from Cabatuan, Iloilo. Good evening, Jessa.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So may we have your question number, please?
Is this 9 po? 6?
9.
Nine.
That's question number 9.
6 or 9, we don't know. Okay.
How would you convince an anti-vaxxer to get vaccinated? Again, how would you convince an anti-vaxxer to get vaccinated?
Vaccination is a choice, and COVID virus doesn't make a choice when targeting its victims.
Ooh.
In this time of crisis, we should always remember that it is not only our health that is at risk. we are risking other people's life too. So let's put aside our biases and pride. Let's do some extensive research on vaccination, and let's do our part in protecting not only ourselves, but also the people around us. And together, let's survive this pandemic. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. That was candidate number 5, Jessa Jen Garbino.
Okay, I really enjoyed her answer. You know, I feel like it's definitely one of those that it can be a little polarizing because of how you answer the question. But I think she was able to find the right balance, you know, like the middle ground for everyone. So she talked about individual freedom, you know, and liberties, which I feel like is very important because sometimes, especially in the context of the pandemic, we tend to forget about, you know, our freedom to decide for ourselves. But then she also talked about that the pandemic is something that is greater than just us or our little, you know, individual selves. It's also about the people around us, the community, the nation, and the world overall. So it's important to have that, you know, perspective of responsibility and respect for others as well, and not just always think about ourselves and what we want for ourselves. So I think that she found the perfect way to kind of acknowledge those who are talking about freedom and having the right to decide for themselves, which is a perfectly valid point. But then she also added the angle of, you know, community and responsibility and caring for one another. So brilliant. Opening statement was strong, ended strong. I mean, what can I say? I love this.
Kabatuan, Iloilo.
And now let's welcome on stage candidate number 6, Gina Jade Chu.
Come on, Gina.
From Anilao, Iloilo.
Oh, she's looking beautiful. These women are like dolls, I swear to God.
Hello, Gina. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, can we have your question number, please?
The question given to me is number 4.
Number 4.
I
All
like her
right, Gina,
attitude as
here's your
well.
question.
A little sassy.
Some people say we should start living with this coronavirus because, like flu, it will never go away. What is your opinion about this? I'll repeat. Some people say we should start living with this coronavirus because, like flu, it will never go away. What is your opinion about
This
this?
is a hard one.
I would like to agree that we should treat COVID just like a flu. Instead of counting the number of cases every single day, we should focus on the severe ones. As long as there is no mortality rate, we shouldn't be alarmed. But we should stay vigilant, observe safety protocols, and get ourselves vaccinated, because it is through our collaborative efforts that we will win this battle. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Candidate number 6, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so let's talk. You know, okay. I'm gonna say that personally speaking, I don't agree with the answer. I think that we should treat, you know, COVID as the pandemic that it actually is. But I know for a fact that her point of view, what she's defending, is also, you know, something that is in people's mind. Here in Canada, in a particular province in Ontario, they decided to go with this approach. You know, they would stop counting, you know, certain cases of COVID. They will, you know, stop, you know, freaking out about ups and downs, and then just really focus on the most complex cases, I guess. But I feel like it's a dangerous approach, because if you don't really monitor what's happening, if you don't really pay attention to, you know, how it's evolving with time, the pandemic, you can really lose control of it, you know. And we have seen over and over that the virus is evolving, it's having new variants, some of them are stronger, some of them are weaker, they have different, you know, effects and consequences for human health. I don't necessarily agree with the answer, but, you know, trying to stay neutral and really just analyze her answer from a more unbiased point of view, I feel like she was able to defend it well. She was, you know, fluent, the way that she explained it, she seems sure of herself, and I mean, we have to give her credit for that. Now, whether or not you agree with the answer, I feel like it's a little bit of a polarizing answer. It's completely up to the viewer, but I guess she did a good job.
Gina Jade Chu.
And now may I call in candidate number 7, L. Abelia. Ladies and gentlemen, L. Abelia is from Haro, Iloilo City.
Hello, Ilo. Wow.
Hello, Elle. Good evening.
Good evening, Sir Alan.
Thank you. And can I have your question number?
My question number is number 8.
Number 8.
Yes,
Okay.
number 8.
Elle, your question is, what did you do to this pandemic to make you say that truly you have a heartfelt beauty? Again, what did you do to this pandemic to make you say that truly
They're putting you on the
have
spot, girl.
a heartfelt beauty?
This pandemic has challenged me not just mentally, physically, but financially. I was financially unstable, but I am here today as an accounting technology student and advocate for self-reliance for better future. And I believe that if we have this perspective in life, we will have a broader future. And I believe that this is one thing that a true Ilongga should have. That would be all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Elle. Abelia, candidate number 7.
Elle, baby girl, A+ for effort. A+ for effort. Yeah, I don't think she really answered the question, if I'm being honest. And I think that even with what she delivers, she struggled with. But you know, as I was telling you, when the host was presenting the question, I told you that they're putting her on the spot, because for these type of questions, you really have to talk about your experience and what you actually did for others during the pandemic, because it's about being heartfelt, you know, not just being about yourself, but also, you know, caring about those around you. I don't know. I thought that she was, you know, onto something when she talked about mental, physical, and then financial well-being, but it then just never really took off. There was a lot of opportunity here, you know, to talk about maybe how you went through some challenges, but those challenges didn't stop you from helping others, and then just drop some examples of what you did for other people, you know, put like an inspiring message out there and, you know, call it a day. That would have been like an okay answer, I guess, if you didn't know how to make a statement with this. But I don't think she was able to deliver much with her answer or even answer the question itself. So that was unfortunate.
All the way from Haro, Iloilo City.
And to finally complete our 8 candidates, let's have Dorothy Gamilian, our contestant number 8 from La Paz, Iloilo City.
La Paz.
Hi, Dorothy.
Hi.
Can we have your number, please, for your question?
I have chosen question number 6.
All right. Here goes your question. Do you think people have the right to not get vaccinated, and why? Once again. Do you think people have the right to not get vaccinated, and why?
I do believe that people have the right to not get vaccinated. After all, it's a free country. However, it's what we do with our freedom that counts. And what better way to spend our freedom than to utilize it in a manner that it benefits your personal health and that of your loved ones. So through unity within our community, we amalgamate as one. One mind, one heart, one victory. Thank you.
Wow.
Candidate number 8, ladies and gentlemen, Dorothy.
What an amazing way to end the Q&A segment. Honestly, I feel like this was a mic drop. What I like the most about her answer, and I guess her approach to this question, is that she really used the individual freedom, which we normally use as an argument against getting vaccinated. She used it as a privilege. We have the privilege that because we are free, because we live in a free country, we can get vaccinated to help other people. And that's a perspective that I have never personally heard from any other contestant or even seen on like mainstream media. I feel like if more people had this mindset and more people had this thinking process, it will be much easier to convince everyone to get vaccinated to protect not only themselves but also their loved ones, community, neighbors, you know, you name it. All of it. She looked confident delivering her answer. There was not really a moment of hesitation or looking for words or just kind of like looking confused. There was none of that. Honestly, I feel like this is one of my favorite answers of the entire segment. I don't know about you guys, but anyways, that was it for the Q&A segment. So let me know in the comment section, what do you think about each one of the candidates, some of my feedback and the things that I had to add and criticize when it comes to each one of the deliveries. And while you're at it, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one almost every single day, and leave a like so that this video gets recommended to more people. Now, as usual, before you go, just come here and give me a hug. You know, that's a little tradition on the channel. Know that I love you, that I appreciate you. Thank you for coming and spending a few moments out of your day here with me. And until I see you next time, please stay safe, be kind to one another, sending you all my love, all my kisses, and I'll see you on the next one.